Now, to our main focus for today, the disturbing social media trend that has sparked outrage across the country. It's called the Imbe Challenge. It's a wave of videos on TikTok, Instagram, mocking individuals with developmental disabilities, using slurs, exaggerated facial expressions, and dehumanizing language. And it's all in the name of comedy. But for many Nigerians, especially families raising children with disabilities, this isn't only offensive, it is actually and outrightly dangerous. Joining me on the program today is Mrs. Tonye Faloughi Ekezie, who is founder of Simone Zeosis Foundation, a leading advocate for inclusion and neurodiversity. She's spoken out passionately against this trend online, calling it cruel, dehumanizing, and nothing short of abuse, disguised as entertainment. Mrs. Faloughi Ekezie, good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
You have, reacted to this challenge, this trend. You've called it cruel, dehumanizing. What was your initial reaction, when you saw this challenge?
Well, the odd thing is that it actually had probably been around for a good week before I even heard about it. And it was just, last week, my phone was just blowing up. And so I began to look at messages, Imbe something, but I was busy. Then I got a call from a mum who has a child with Down syndrome. And she was weeping on the call. And I obviously thought, oh, something has happened. Maybe the child is ill, is taken to hospital. No, she had seen the Imbe challenge and she was telling me about it. I'm like, what's that? She's like, go online and find out. And I looked at, it was really shocking to me what I saw. And I kind of went down this rabbit hole where you're seeing majority of young people, but there are older people doing it too, with a song and mocking people with disabilities, with intellectual disabilities as well. And then it's had an adaptation. If you don't want something to happen, you go back to Nigeria or do the Imbe challenge. And I never even knew that the word Imbe, is a shorthand for imbecile, right? And that's when it hits me that that word has become like in the global north, the R word is for them. This is our R word. It's so wrong. It is so absolutely wrong. And to see people, thousands of people, doing this and thinking it's okay means that they've got no process of thinking, that they actually just thought, okay, let me do this. And they don't think about the consequences of their actions. And looking at people who have millions and millions of followers and making a living from being content creators, and they think this is okay. Pele, for example, right? He has 11 million followers. Again, I'm not his age group, so I didn't even know who Pele is. But I went on because his is the one that comes up mostly, Pele and Jarvis. And I looked at the page and I went to his profile, 11 million followers. Now with 11 million followers, you should have some responsibility on what you're creating and what you're doing. And when you veer off what is acceptable, there should be repercussions for that utter misbehavior, that utter lack of thinking, because you do influence other people, 11 million people.
That sounds like a broader issue that needs to be dealt with, some social issue, especially with social media. But, for the benefit of people who might not fully comprehend the gravity of this matter at hand, how exactly does it affect? What is its impact? I mean, just explain so that we can better grasp the implication of this matter.
Okay, so for example, at my foundation, we use storytelling to raise awareness and advocate because we understand a lot of people do not really know about disabilities. They still believe the very kind of old tropes that it's because you've sinned or you've been cursed or something like that. But we don't preach that. We write stories and to educate and let people know what the lives are like and that whilst people like my daughter are different, they have every right to exist, they have every right for respect, they have every right for opportunities, they have every right for acceptance, and they have every right to be included in society. Now, if you're promoting something where it's mocking them, right? Someone with cerebral palsy, movement, because of the neurological damage that's been done, movement is unusual. It's different than most people. That doesn't make them any less. However, you mocking them and degrading them and saying to the people, oh, if you don't want to be like this, do this. What does that tell people? It tells people, these ones are less, they're not worth it. They have no value. You know, they have no rights. Why do you even bother? The only thing they're good for is making fun of. And it's really, really damaging, because when you have that kind of exposure to other people and influence on other people, it does real damage. So it counteracts all the good work that we're doing, other organizations, Lesotho is doing, to include people with disabilities in everyday life. And it's hard work, but it's rewarding work. And when you see people with disabilities excel, get empowered, you know, raise their self-esteem and see their value, and the people, their carers, their parents, you know, it has that turnaround of saying, actually, my child can be something, can do something, this is worth it, let's continue. But when you see this, it's really hurtful, it's really painful, and it's kind of a slap in the face to say, wow, you know, we still have a long way to go. We still have a very long way to go.
A very long way to go. You know, you were talking about the fact that some of these content creators have millions of followers, and that's aside those who just walk by, I mean, who just scroll past to just watch those videos. So as it stands now, what must we do as a people, as a society, to drive this consciousness, and to importantly also, in the long run, get people to think before they share, before they reshare, before they post?
I think it's important to mention this didn't start today, right? We can go back to old Nollywood movies, where the person with a disability was the brunt of the joke. I think there was an actor who made a living from playing like just horribly distasteful, disabled characters. But that has reduced over time, right? Because people were not for it anymore. People just started to see, actually, no, this is wrong. We can't go on like this. So with this, it's kind of a similar thing. We need to continue to hold people accountable, to make noise about how bad it is, to say no, that mocking people with disabilities, you shouldn't do it for clicks. You shouldn't do it at all. You shouldn't be monetizing off people's pain. And so I think that young people especially, you have to look at their parents as well, because the majority of these people are young people doing it. What kind of upbringing are they having that they're saying this is okay? They're far more exposed to social media than, you know, I was. So they're growing up in this environment where you're doing everything for clicks. You're not really thinking, oh, you're just thinking, I want, oh, this, how many likes? I want how many reshares? Oh, you know, because they want to follow these influencers. And at the end of the day, they want to make money like these influencers because they're making a lot of money, and that's what it comes down to. But we have to remind young people of conscience. We have to remind young people that their imprints on the internet can come back and bite them when they want to move forward in life, because employers do look at your socials. And I, for one, if I was in an organization that was hiring people and I would look at the social media and I would see that, I would not hire that person, because that's a person that has no empathy. That's not a person that's a team player. You want team players. You want people that will bring people together, not tear others down.
All right. We need to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue from